So, last but not least today, I hope, is is me. I get to share a little bit of what I have to say as well. I'm just looking for. I'm going to share a slide as well, although I think it's maybe not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is me. I am, as I mentioned, an author, coach, and editor for mission-oriented coaches, healers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and others who know there is more available to us and who wish for greater harmony and want to share a book, to write a book to share their message and support their businesses. So that's what I do in the world. I'm here to help people write books that they love to write and that they feel are going to make a difference in some way, shape, or field. And the one thing that I want to kind of summarize here around what I feel the reader is going to get from the book, as you've heard all of our speakers mention today, there is so much in that book, so many nuggets of wisdom and insight and interesting concepts and kind of a shift of the paradigm of how you may have been looking at life up until now. And so the book is a cornucopia of insights that are perhaps a little bit different from what you've been thinking and feeling in your life up to now, and perhaps a confirmation of what you've been thinking and feeling in your life up to now. And so I think every opportunity that we have to take a look at how we're living our lives in the pursuit of somehow opening doorways into more possibilities and more insights and more opportunities, I think that's always a good thing. And so that's the way this book has been created. It's been created from an energetic frequency of love and harmony and peace. And if, as authors, we can bring more of that to your doorstep and through the doorstep into your life, then we will be absolutely delighted and honored to have had a chance to take up a little space in your life through the book. So I'm going to read a little bit from what I've written for this book. I'm reading from our chapter on living as creators. And here we go, creating our world. I pulled the roll of packing tape down from the shelf beside me and morosely sealed another box of belongings that would be shipped off to the new home my children and I would be moving into in another few months. Life had changed dramatically for us the day my husband died, and my beautiful dream house had become a casualty of the cycle of life and death that I was experiencing, had been experiencing, in fact, in different ways for the entire breadth of my life, although I wasn't conscious of the pattern at the time. I felt as though I were living in a state of dissolution. My husband had gone, and my house would be soon, too. I was leaving my community, my friends, my church, and everything that throughout the past decade of daily life had come to provide me with a sense of purpose and certainty. It was as though Steve's death had marked the crumbling of the life I loved and had worked so hard to create. I was beside myself with grief. It now fell to me to raise my kids, march resolutely back to the workforce, care for my mother, and somehow begin the painful task of redefining who I was and what else I was supposed to make of my life. Steve had given me purpose, a place, an identity. I was a wife, a mother, and the backbone of my family. I bought the groceries, cooked the meals, cleaned the house, and supervised the homework. Everything my husband or children needed, I provided. With his death, I was going to have to do all that and more. I now had to replace his income. The task was overwhelming. It had been 10 years since I had worked for pay. A little thing called the internet had arrived while I had been scrubbing floors and wiping noses, and somehow I was going to have to determine how to work with it and leverage it to support my family. Everything was falling apart around me, and I felt victimized by life. I didn't see myself as a creator at the time, and indeed, this wasn't a concept I would have heard from friends or family members. What do you mean we're creators? They would have asked me, I'm sure. Their faces screwed up into balls of confusion at the very idea. We work, we parent, we have some fun, and then we die. That doesn't sound very appealing to me today. and no doubt doesn't to many others who are stuck on the treadmill of caution that passes for daily life in modern times. But really, over the past 15 years or so, I've come to see this fragile and beautiful human life as a vehicle for nothing but creation. We have the worrisome privilege of creating every aspect of our lives, all of it, through our thoughts, our beliefs, our values, and our choices. We choose what we do and what we feel. We choose how we react to both disasters and triumphs. We choose who we spend time with and who we avoid, what we learn and what we refuse to let go of. We choose whether we go it alone or get support, expand our lives or stay stuck in the past. Everything that happens in our lives, all of it, all of it, all of it happens because we are the creators of our world. For a long time, I felt burdened and resentful over the years I had spent raising my kids on my own while looking after my somewhat difficult hemiplegic mother and flying through my days as a beleaguered entrepreneur. But with a turn of the prism through which I examined my life, I realized I was choosing to do it all and choosing to do it in just that way. I refused to seek assistance, and I've refused to say no to the countless demands placed upon me. I refused to get a real job. I insisted I could handle it all. And in fact, the way I was choosing to live my life gave me a great platform for self-pity. As a victim, I couldn't be expected to do more. I couldn't be expected to thrive, to expand out to the edge of my existence and see what I could really create of my life. It gave me an easy out. But as I began to see myself as a creator, I started to reclaim my agency. I set boundaries around my time. I hired more help. I defined when I was available for my family and when I was off duty. I started to look after myself, learning to meditate and committing to a yoga practice. I began to create a different life than the default life I felt I had been given. Choice by choice, I walked out of victimhood and felt the power of creation surge through my soul. So that's my little contribution. And again, if you would like to hear more from me and my co-authors in this wonderful project of Perspectives on Possibility, I invite you to find the link to the Amazon listing on the page where you're viewing this video and take a look at the book, and by all means purchase the book. We would love to share this with you. There are several other chapters that we haven't covered in our time to get together today, but buy the book and find out what they're like too. And I encourage you to delve deeper into what it is to navigate this kaleidoscope of a human life that we have. And as we kind of tether ourselves to our hearts and souls, and we're actually here to experience more in life, is my feeling. I also encourage you to reach out to our authors, and I'm going to share everyone's contact information as well, so that you can see if you may want to take down somebody's email address. Perhaps they've said something or touched on an issue that you feel will provide some value through a further conversation, but by all means, we do encourage you to reach out to our authors and get in touch and explore more, because the people who have written this book, as you can imagine, are amazing human beings with a lot to offer. And so with that, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. May your days be filled with peace, and may your dreams be a source of enormous inspiration for you.